hello there. This is your girl, Valerie Mason Chase, back again. And tonight we're going to start with me and
the Cookie Man.
The Cookie Man, also known as Frank Bernard Chase Jr. See, some of y'all didn't know he was a junior, right? I let the cat out of the bag. So anyway, thank you for joining. We have a very, very important topic tonight. Well, all of the topics are important, but this one was so much that we had to have a part 2. And I just finished telling my guests we're probably going to have a part 3 because I'm not so sure we're going to get through everything I want to get through on tonight. This subject here is something that every adult at some point in their life, hey sis, at some point in their life will deal with. And what are we talking about tonight, babe?
What was it?
Lord have mercy, Jesus! Look right about that. Let's talk about sex.
I ain't got my contacts in, but I'd have got it if you just give me a minute. But you always rush. Don't let me give me half a time to answer a question and answer it for me.
So anyway, let's talk about sex. That's what we're going to talk about on this evening. But before we get started, I just want to say that we're going to try to finish up in 60 minutes. I'm not so sure that we will. However, 60 minutes, the Cookie Man is going to have to say adios, okay? Because he's actually working a night shift tonight, and he's gonna be leaving for work around 9 p.m. So I don't want to thank you, babe, because I actually woke him up from a nap to come and be on, and he's trying to. No, we're not negotiating
under
time.
The table because I'm trying to at least say 6:30, maybe 7:30. I'll stretch it to quarter to, but Lord have mercy.
All right, thanks, babe. I appreciate you getting up from your nap and coming to be with us. So let me tell y'all, thank you, sis. My sister Jackie says she loved the t-shirts.
Okay.
I have an amazing guest for this evening. I met this woman, I think the last time we were together was in 2020, just before the pandemic. Frank and I went on an event with Wife Up. And if you're not familiar with Wife Up, it is an amazing organization. You can find Wife Up on Facebook. I don't know if they have Instagram or not, but just look for Wife Up on Facebook. Okay, my sister friend Charmaine started that organization several years ago. So if you are a wife, if you want to be a wife, if you're thinking about being a wife, if you're trying to be a wife, if you wish you had a man so you could be a wife, connect with Wife Up. So there was an event Frank and I went to in January of 2020, and our guest was there, and she officiated a whole group vow renewal. Prior to that, I had seen, I want to say her name in a minute, Dr. Levon at another Wife Up event. That was actually the first time I saw her. And I just fell in love with her. I fell in love with the way she presents. I mean, she has such confidence. When she walks into a room, Dr. Levon has entered this room. And I just fell in love with her the very first time that we met. So I am going to bring on Reverend Dr. Levon Shaw, also known as the erogenous coach. Listen, y'all, here she go. Give us some love.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Dr. Levon, thank you so much for agreeing to be here with us this evening. And so we can talk about sex, because if anybody know how to talk about sex, it is the erogenous coach.
Yes. Thank you, Frank and Valerie, for having me. And let me say this, Frank, my late husband, Michael, used to work the night shift. So I thank you for sacrificing some of your rest so that we can do ministry. I really, really appreciate it. Val, if he needs to go at 7:30, let him go. He's a breadwinner, girl. Let him do what he got to do.
I know. Thank you, Dr. Levon. Vanessa, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. So, Dr. Levon.
Yes.
Sometimes I read people's bio, but I want you to introduce yourself and to talk about yourself and share anything that you want to share with the listening audience.
Now, I'm going to tell you what's really funny. You probably got to hit the highlights on the bio, because while I am free to talk about sex and intimacy and passion and romance, when it comes to talk about myself, but what I can tell you is, again, thank you for having me. I am Reverend Dr. Lavon Shaw, better known as the Erogenous Coach. Yes,
Yes.
I am a pastor of Majestic Global Life Ministries,
Mhm.
and actually sitting, finalizing some documentation, about to kick off a community for women. And as soon as I have it all solidified, I will share with you, Valerie.
Mhm.
But I am who I am, the Erogenous Coach. And
Yes.
what does the Erogenous Coach do? I coach women and couples how to minister between the sheets.
I
That
love it.
sum up my bio right there.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that, Dr. Lavon. So we're going to get right into it.
Okay.
And the first thing I want to do is just define sex, because some people, especially younger people, engage in sexual acts, but they don't consider themselves to have had sex. So what is sex? What is it and what is it not?
So what I am learning as I journey through this part of ministry, that I'm actually putting a new narrative of what it is, because sex is more than just penetration. Sex is more than just intimacy. Sex is more than just romance. Sex is a whole spiritual experience. And it doesn't even require the penetration part. And if we know the beautiful reason why God created it, and why the enemy tried to put a negative light on it, because simply when two become one, when the two connect, when the power of two coming together, isn't it amazing how no matter what you do, no matter which way you lay, the penis will fit inside the vagina. It's a fit, and you become one.
Yes.
You become one in worship, and one in the intimacy. So that's what it is. That's what it encompasses.
Yes.
All of that. And yes, you were taking on all of that when you decide to be with someone.
Yes, yes. And I love that one of my spiritual fathers actually says that when a husband and a wife have sexual intercourse, it's actually worship.
It is worship.
It's worship. And you invite Christ into the space. And he actually said he envisions sometimes when a married couple, they're having sexual intercourse, that Jesus is somewhere sitting, yeah, you go have at it, tear it up,
and you should, because what people don't understand, or people don't grasp, that God created it. So again, so we were looking for the video, and I laughed because when I said it, when I put the post out, that the clitoris is made with over 8,000 nerve endings. And if your husband or partner wanted to get on one of them, get on one of those nerve endings and work that nerve,
work that nerve, baby.
Work that nerve, because God created it. And the church teaches that procreation, that sex is only for procreation. But the clitoris has nothing to do with procreation. It's all for pleasure. So if God created the vagina and the penis, God created the clitoris. Why did he single out the clitoris and to have so many nerve in it? And the penis, the tip of the penis has so many nerve, it's so sensitive, so tingly. He wanted all that excitement because he wanted you to experience and explore that energy, because when that energy releases, the serotonin and the endorphins, all those are released. You think differently, you flow differently. Oh my goodness, some stuff don't bother you, and it just rolls off your back like a duck in water.
Absolutely.
From your perspective, what are some of the biggest misconceptions couples have about sex today?
Sex today, sex period. I still have a few people who are virgins going into marriage, and coaching them and preparing them for marriage. So they are actually clueless of what to expect, because they were ashamed to have the conversation. And it is of the utmost importance that you talk to your partner about your fantasies, your desires, and your dreams, because that's the person who will help them come true. And you can't assume that your partner will know how to please you. You can't assume that. That's why we're going to talk about it today, but that's why I encourage you to masturbate because it teaches you what you want.
Like. Yeah.
Because as much as wives think husbands can read their minds, they cannot.
Right.
They cannot read your mind. And because he has the testosterone, he does not have to initiate. Because he has the testosterone, he doesn't have to make sure you have an orgasm all by itself. You have to mentally be there. You have to mentally check in. You have to mentally stop going through the house, making sure you turn the stove off, making sure all the lights are off. Do that when you finish. You can get up when you finish. Walk it off. Get some more energy and go for round 2, 3, and 4. You know, but be present. Be there. And that's how you connect.
Yes. Okay. And that kind of segued into the other question I had about couples, the types of conversations they should be having, because we can't, just like you said, we can't, I can't assume, well, I can now because we've been together for 40 something years, but even now, there's still things I'm learning about my own body and about Frank's own body. So even though we've been together for 42 years, as we get older and our body changes and the hormones and everything changes, there are different parts of my body that are more sensitive and that I enjoy him interacting with now more than I did before. So I think it's an ongoing conversation. It's definitely important to have at the beginning of the relationship when a couple decides to be sexually intimate with each other. But it's an ongoing conversation that I think a couple should have. My sister Jackie said, you about making her ready to think about getting married again.
Come on, Jackie, let's do that thing. Let's do that thing.
You know, as I hear this, I'm saying to my mind how amazing this is, because in the beginning, you're learning your partner.
Right.
You have to have the conversation. And as you get older, like Val said, things change. So you still have to have some sort of conversation because the expectation that you had built up over, let's say, using this for an example, the expectations and the things we learned over the last 40 years have now changed.
Right.
So we need to have that conversation. So our expectations are still not up there. You might have to bring them down a little lower because of age, whatever the case may be. Yeah. But you have that. It's just amazing.
So Frank, this is what we're gonna call. I watch a little bit of football, so you got to modify the movement. You gotta tweak it a little bit. Because when we were young and we got married, we hit them quickies all the time. Now, 20 minutes now. But because you got to put on a little simmer and warm her up, get her there, honey, this is what I want to do when you get home. Can you kind of be ready? Kind of be, so I even encourage wives like, honey, would you want me in this pink lingerie set when you get home, matching underwear that'll be under my jeans and t-shirt? Or would you want me in the blue? And he'll say, what? And you have that color on for him. So that's still slow walking him, but also getting your mind right, getting your mind that I need to bring out my femininity for my man tonight because I don't know what he wants, but I want him. And I need him to know that I want him. Wives, the wives aren't here. I encourage you, please employ this to your lovemaking. Your husband wants to be desired. Your husband wants to be wooed and swooned too. He wants to know that you are attracted to him. So yes, he'll walk in the kitchen and pat you on your behind. So if you're getting in the car, just slap him on his little buttocks. He want to know. He want to know.
Yes. Too. Yeah. And that's a great point because so many times when I counsel couples, it almost seems as if the woman feels that it is only the man's responsibility to make her feel desired as opposed to him feeling desired. And actually, Frankie and I have had some of those conversations because I have fallen into that. Because a lot happens after 40 years, waxing and waning and whatnot. And we have had that type of conversation where he had to remind me, yo, Val, I want to know that you desire me as well as much as I desire you. So that is a great, great point. It's not just one-sided. It's for each partner.
Very, very true.
Yes, let the other one know that they are desired and they want them sexually. And I love the idea of sending a text. Yo, when I get home tonight, I'm gonna tear you up. I'm gonna blow your back
and follow through. Follow through.
That's the thing.
Follow through. If you follow through. Let me tell you what I did one time. It was so funny, and I teach it, and people laugh at me. But at one time, when Michael's well, he was taking care of his mother. I was taking care of my dad. Both of them had Alzheimer's and dementia. So we had to schedule times together. And so we had booked this beautiful room, and I would take care of my dad, my mom, my daughters, just doing everything. So we got to the hotel room, and we were putting the key in the door. I said, look, I'm not gonna lie. I want to rock your world. I will rock your world, but I need a nap. I need a nap. I said, so are you willing for me to wake you up maybe 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? And I promised. He was like, oh, okay. So when I got my rest, I woke
That's
up.
all you needed.
Yeah, but you have to be honest. This is what I want to do to you, but I need a little nap. But he knew what we were doing, so he was fine with that. Yeah. But even when you plan, like, honey, can we have a sex weekend? Well, what is that? Well, we just go away for the weekend and order room service, and all we do is be intimate. And it might not be penetration, but touching and licking, and kissing and hugging and rubbing and touching.
Yes.
You don't touch. You don't hold hands.
Thank you.
You don't even hold hands in the car. When I tell you the couples that almost, and some did, but almost broke up because of this pandemic, the couples that really had to go through coaching and be introduced to themselves or each other, because you were going here, church, work, school, activities, sororities, fraternities. And when the world shut down, they said, who is this person?
Yes.
And they did not like the person.
So
I told them, stop falling in love and just simply begin to love each other and see the person you were attracted to at one time.
Yes.
Because of time, your body has changed. You now have more rolls and folds in some places. But you can still love those rolls and folds, and to be there.
Yeah.
Through sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health, no matter what. And something you said, I think, is very vital. And a lot of the couples that I counsel, I will give them a homework assignment that involves just non-sexual touch, no penetration, just enjoy each other's body, because that is something I think, as you mentioned, is kind of lost. That couples don't necessarily engage in touching unless they are having sexual intercourse. And that whole non-sexual touch thing is beautiful. And I mean, listen, if you touch it right, you can have an orgasm from just that. It ain't got to be no penetration.
It's the second time I've heard that. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, I guess, because I've been so conditioned that you got to do more than just touch for having an orgasm.
No, you got
no. Because you can bathe,
have an orgasm.
Frank, you can bathe her from head to toe. Just bathe her and then pat her dry and then oil her down and massage her down. And that's 5 different levels of touching right there. And by the time you might even try it, she probably be like, too much. I can't take no more.
Well, when you're talking bath, I'm going to have to go from the shoulder down. Because the water on the face.
Oh, that's another issue.
Yeah,
that's an issue I have. But listen,
but see, you know her. But you know her.
Well, yeah.
But let me tell you this. And I learned this because of the foster children I deal with. I got a newborn, not newborn. She was 3 to 6 months, but she was so tiny you really couldn't tell. We ended up having to keep her on our chest most of the time, and because her mother didn't do that compassionate part. Failure to thrive. People will die. Older people and heavy people die because of failure to thrive because they haven't been touched. Nobody touches them. Couples, you miss each other just because of the touch. Because when you first get together, you want to touch his hair, you want to touch his bald head, you might run your finger across his mustache, his beard, down his back. You're touching and touching and touching. Then you get mad. The first thing you do is pull everything back. I'm gonna be mad. We're gonna have sex. I'm still gonna be mad. We're gonna have sex. Okay.
Yeah. Right?
Be mad when I finish and we'll talk about it. But if I want you, we'll talk about whatever the issue is you did. But I'm not losing that connection. No.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's hard. I think that's hard for some people though, because they kind of shut down physically when they're having an argument or a disagreement with their partner. And you're right. That's kind of the first thing that stops.
Right.
Is the sex.
Because you're punishing him. And it's not a
right.
weapon. It's not a weapon.
Mm-hmm. And I that is something and that people don't realize, that sexual intimacy can be weaponized. And a lot of time, I hate to say this, ladies, but usually it's us who weaponize the sex. Mm-hmm. Because like you said, we withhold because we think we're punishing somebody. But hell, if I don't have, they're saying you got to bring some to get some. So if I withhold sexual intimacy, thinking I'm punishing him, I'm punishing myself as well. Because the sex is not just for the man; it's for the two people involved. Whether it's a heterosexual couple and it's male and female, or it's a same-sex couple, it doesn't matter. Sexual intimacy is intended to be for both people involved.
Intimacy is not a weapon. It is not a punishment. It is not a reward either. It's not a reward. Stop saying, I'm going to give you something, you do this. No, give me something, give me some. It's not a reward. So that's why you have to take some things back. And that's why I said I'm renegotiating, renavigating some things. So that we put intimacy and sex and passion and romance in this positive light instead of using it as a weapon, instead of using it as punishment.
Yeah.
And let me say this, Val. Men also withhold too. It's not just women. Men do use it as punishment.
Wow. Okay. I guess I could see that happening. I guess because my experience has been with Frank for so many years. And this brother, he ain't gonna punish. He'll punish me some way. He ain't gonna punish me like that. Okay. And it's just so hard to visualize a man voluntarily saying, well, I'm not gonna have sex because I'm pissed off at you. But I can see it happening. I can always see it happening. So
excuse me. When there is disparity in levels of sexual desire or sex drive between couples, how do you advise couples to address that?
Different sex drives between couples. This is what I encourage you to do at least quarterly. And definitely on date nights. Again, as Val has shared that, during times of periods, because you've been married 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, some 20, 30, 50, 60, your desires change. Some increase, some decrease, but you have to sit down on your date in a neutral spot, definitely not the bedroom, and talk about, honey, I've lost some weight. And so because I've lost weight, my testosterone level has increased. And since my testosterone level has increased, I'm going to need you to help me fix it. I need you to minister to that area because I need to burn off that energy. So I need you to help me burn off that energy. So you sit down and you talk about it. Some husbands, and let's be honest, I've had clients young as 21 who deal with erectile dysfunction. And it could be for anything because of your medication, the side effect of your medication, or surgery that went awry. It could be anything. So the couple I normally talk about, there was a surgery and he can hold an erection, but not for a long period of time. So they did a lot of physical touch. They also incorporated toys into their lovemaking, and they would save his erection for the very end. I'll say the grand finale, because, and he was really worried that their marriage is going to end because he couldn't hold an erection, but for an extended period of time. But that's when they came to me and we talked and we shared. I just kind of navigated the conversation. They just kind of needed a medium person in there, and she shared with him that I love you. I'm not here just for the sex. It helps and it's fun, but I'm not going to leave you because you don't feel whole.
Yeah.
And that took the whole weight out of the room for him. And they are very happy. So you just have to have the conversation. Date your spouse. And then I would suggest at least quarterly, that's every 3 months. You just check in with each other. Baby, is there anything new in the bedroom you want to try? Hey, baby, I saw the erogenous coach, and October is National Kink Month. You want to try some of the things that she's going to be posting for the month? Just like that. A friend of mine told me the other day, and I thought it was hilarious. She said, I knew it was something that you had going because he came running in with the phone. Look what LaVon posted. Look what LaVon posted. So, yeah, just trying to keep it spicy in the bedroom for you guys. Just keep it exciting.
Yeah, I like that.
And you guys are, and I laugh because some of you all are doing some kinky things that are listed kinky, and you don't know it, you know. And so you already participating. Like, I'm not kinky, whatever. Just try it. I'm not saying put it out on Facebook or on social media. I'm doing the kink month. No, just support, you know.
Well, I will definitely be watching for what you're going to post, because I actually didn't know that October was National Kink Month. So, Frank, we're going to have to check out some of the stuff that Dr. LaVon is posting.
That'll be a good birthday present.
That's
birthday
right.
Month.
That's right. Absolutely. I'm gonna pick out some that I want to try just for my birthday weekend. Okay.
Oh boy, the pressure's on. The pressure's on.
Get it ready.
Nobody will know but the two of y'all. Nobody will know but the two of
y'all. So, Dr. LaVon, I have encountered some couples, particularly Christian couples, and they want to know if there are any sexual acts that are quote unquote forbidden from a Christian perspective. And what they're usually referring to is oral, anal, or BDSM. So how do you address that?
Oral, anal, BDSM. Yes, it's a go. So the only thing I'll tell you scripture wise is that I even encourage that's forbidden is when couples want to invite another person into the bedroom.
Yes.
And so the scriptures say that you shouldn't. And the story is Sarah and Jacob, right? Is it Sarah and Jacob? Where Sarah invited the other young lady in who had Ishmael's mother. And so that was a 3-party. And what people think, and you don't realize, she thought that her inviting her slave young lady in to sleep with her husband, that they would just have sex and she'll get pregnant and walk away. Well, it's kind of hard to get pregnant for real. And so she didn't bank on the pillow talk that they would have. Or the relationship that would grow. And there was a love there. And the proof that the love was there, because when she sent the slave girl and Ishmael away, he sent for them because he loved both of them. And she gave him a son. So you're not ready for that other relationship right there. You can't handle that. It never works. It never works. You know, so I just discourage that. And of course, the Bible says about bestiality. Now, the Bible also says the marriage bed is undefiled. Yeah. So you have to learn and study about anal sex. Anal sex is nerve endings, and a lot of nerve endings in the anus. So you have to lubricate some more to do that. And you have to be very sensitive about those tissues in that area. And so I say educate yourself how to do it properly. It was anal sex. It was oral sex. Yeah. Oral sex is kissing. Say it with me. Oral sex is kissing.
Oral sex is kissing. You gonna kiss me tonight? So he can't kiss me tonight. Maybe.
But how we all about to be leaving early? You want to get a kiss now?
Oral sex is kissing.
But oral sex is kissing. So when the church, I've heard pastors get up and say oral sex is of the devil. I'm like, no, it's not. What it is your spouse is not doing it, and you're gonna want everybody punished because you can't have any. So no. But oral sex is really just simply kissing. So enjoy. God created the penis. Go ahead and kiss, lick, and suck the penis. God created the vagina. Go ahead and kiss, sick, and love. Suck the vagina. It's lips on lips.
Lip to lip.
Lip to lip. And BDSM. Let me tell you what happened to me. I had so many couples coming to me about 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah. That I went out, because I like to teach it properly, everything God has. And I went out, and for the body of Christ, I got certified to be a femme dominatrix. I went and yes.
I like that.
I took the sacrifice for the church. Yes, I did. So I have I sought out so I can teach couples how to play safely, how to play properly, and what you could do. So I can teach you how to spank properly, how to incorporate play. And there are some dark ends of it that I don't care for, but I don't teach. But there's some great education that I am about to share with everyone, and that you can play with your partner. And, and for African American men who have concern about being in handcuffs when it comes to play. And I got it, because I know the struggle that our men go through. We can start with scars. It's stuff that you can get out of, because it's just a part of restriction, just to tickle you and tease you, and we're not trying to bound you. And I had one gentleman I was trying to teach. It's not about hitting to this blood or beating or all that other stuff. It's all about pleasure. And the biggest thing I learned in this was the aftercare, the self-care that couples should incorporate anyway, instead of just rolling over, snoring, and like it was good. But were you okay? Did you enjoy that? Did you get everything you wanted? Were you pleased? Do I need to go up and touch up a little thing? The aftercare that they taught, that I now teach because of that class, is amazing. So yes, BDSM is fine, but you talk to your partner and you see what your partner would like to try. I have a toy store on my site, but we're changing it as we speak. You can go onto the site and you can see, honey, I want to try this. I want to try this. I might want to try this whip. I want to try this paddle. We have like a leather paddle, a paddle holder, just different things that you can incorporate into your lovemaking.
Well, if you're going to give a class on that, since you were certified, please let me know. Because, I read a lot of erotica, okay?
Yeah.
And a lot of the erotica, the couples are engaging in BDSM. Frank likes when I read the erotica, because I might wake him up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, because the lady in the book can't be having all the fun. So it's something that I have developed an interest in, because it's happening in a lot of my erotica novels. So I'm definitely want to hear more.
Well, let me tell you what I'm going to do. Definitely, my teacher has my professor has signed off on it, that I'm going to open a school on the East Coast. And so yes, and then I'll still do small classes to introduce you to see if you want to come be a student. And and then the end of it, you can just be better partner for your spouse. You don't have to be a professional dom. That's just different things you can do for your husband. So like when you send out a text to him, it's a dom night tonight when we go out to dinner. And that means that you might just have on all leather under your beautiful dress, and then you might have a little something on him that you can hit with your remote or something.
Yes, I like that. I like that. We're going to talk some more about toys too at some point. But what's the next thing, babe, you want to ask?
What advice, and this question, when I was reading the question, this one, I don't know why it just jumped out at me, but what advice would you give someone who has sexual dreams involving someone other than their partner? And do you advise sharing that information with your partner?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was reading the crawl.
Yeah, that's what my sister Jackie wrote that.
What advice do I have for a couple that has a fantasy of someone else when they're being intimate?
Yeah, or have a dream, a sexual dream about someone other than their spouse.
And do you advise them
sharing it? Yeah.
Okay, so this is a very touchy subject. So what I would say this, I'll give a life. I had a fantasy about Fred Hammond. I was in love with Fred Hammond. I didn't have sex dreams about Fred Hammond, but I just was like loved him to life. This is the beginning part of Fred Hammond. And I told my husband, I was like, "Ooh, I love you, but I need you to know I love me some Fred Hammond." I told him, and one day he came home from work and he was like, "Do I have to do I have to worry about something? I was like, what's going on? What happened? He said, Fred Hammond got a divorce. I said, what? He said, Fred Hammond divorced his wife. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He said, so what do we need to do? I said, I don't understand the question. He said, are you leaving me to go get Fred Hammond? I said, bless your little heart. Thank you so much if you think I could pull Fred Hammond, but no. So, but sometimes the fantasies are just that, simply, Frank, fantasy. You know, most women swoon and woon over Denzel Washington. Most women, Samuel Jackson. I'm really dating myself, you know. These young men now just and you have your own fantasies. But realistically, Frank, if you can pull Beyonce, knock yourself out.
in the dream.
In this dream.
Dream.
Yeah, but I mean, but you're right, because I always tell Frank, like Idris Elba, I call him my baby daddy.
Yeah.
And Frank is okay with it. He can handle that. And who was your
Natalie
crush?
Cole was my first crush.
That was his crush.
Natalie Cole.
Yeah, there's another. But as I'm reading the question, what keeps coming to mind, and I'm saying I'm thinking, because can people really control their dreams? My opinion is no. So with that, you're liable to have dreams about someone you were involved with years ago. I mean, is that something? How did the question go? Sex. That's what I mean by fantasies. I get the Denzel things. Okay, chances are you
dreams
might not
about real people that you're in contact with.
That's the way I looked at the question. That I might be having sexual dreams about old girlfriends. I mean, my goodness, you know, along that line. And once I wake up, do I share that with Val?
Not in the bedroom.
Okay.
I would share in the bedroom.
Right.
Okay. And you can start out with, honey, I want to share something with you. You know, I just want to share with you. I don't know why it happened, but just want to share this dream. And you have to be very cautious in your wording, because I don't know the other person and how they're going to respond, because some people are very insecure and some are not. So, and when you're dealing with someone who's dealing with insecurities and they don't feel safe and protected with you, that can disrupt some stuff. So you have to be careful. But to be honest, you can say, hey, I had this dream about an old girlfriend. I don't know why she came up. I haven't seen her. I haven't talked to her. And I'm going on that end. I don't know if you've seen her or talked to her or whatever. And but I've known some wives who had dreams about old boyfriends and they chuckle and just keep it to themselves and keep it moving, because it was just a dream. It's just a dream. Now, if you sneak in and creeping and your conscience is pulling on you, then you need to fix that. You need to fix that. And I say this because we never know the day, time, nor the hour when God says it's time for you to come home. And I don't want you caught in your sneaky leaks bed. How? You can't even explain that. And you can't holler, it wasn't me.
Right.
You can't holler. That's right. You can't say it wasn't me. Yeah. Something you just said a minute ago, when you said they're going to have that conversation, to not have it in the bedroom. And that is so important. Couples should not be having, I don't think a couple should have any type of serious conversation in the bedroom or in the bed. Leave the room, go sit in the living room, in the kitchen, in your car, any place other than in the bedroom.
Neutral territory. Save your bedroom to be your intimacy sanctuary, to be your place where I don't know your nicknames for each other. I think you said Cookie Man, Cookie Man,
and he calls me Sunshine.
And Riri or Sunshine, and that's what you call each other in the bedroom, and that's your love place, your safe place. You know, now there will be some interruptions.
No, I don't want to have conversations in the bedroom.
We had one this morning.
Well, that's true. This morning we did. Because
now there will be sometimes you will. There will be sometimes you will, but try to limit it. Try to make it your sanctuary, you know, and make it your space, you know, and just for you. Try your best. Some some people, depending on where you live, how you're living, if you're taking care of everybody and everybody's in your house, you might not have this space. Then yes, go to your car, go to McDonald's, go to Starbucks, go somewhere you can just sit and talk. Sometimes hard conversations are in the car because you don't have to look directly at the person who's having the hard conversation is driving, and they're hoping that you won't get so upset that you would hit the steering wheel.
Pull over.
But have the conversation. Have the conversation.
I get that, because I know there have been a couple of times when I have waited until we were in the car because I said, no, I got a captive audience right here. He can't go nowhere. So we're going to have this conversation while we drive into Brooklyn. So I want to talk now about pornography, because I know it's an issue for some couples. And it's particularly an issue when one partner wants to engage in watching porn and the other does not. And then sometimes couples will agree to watch it together. So how do you address that when you have couples who deal with pornography?
Again, the marriage bed is undefiled. What you do in the privacy of your own home is your business. Some people need to learn what to do because they don't know what to do, which is why I wrote my books, which is why I'm working on this third and fourth one that's coming out. And I'm trying to give you a safe space to do that and see that, and not have to go into the histories of the different things on the porn sites, because some of that is just degrading to different people for different reasons, because there are children on there, there are youth on there, just different things. So, but I've had couples, pastors, preachers who told me, we went on this porn site. Okay, so yeah, it's okay. And they're feeling so guilty, but they don't know what to do. And there wasn't an erogenous coach out there at the time who will encourage you. And even I still get blackballed in some ministries because I talk about sex, but I talk about it because you don't. And it's couples in your congregation who need to be free to make love to each other and can't, because you won't give them the go. You won't release them. But I come and go around the world to release them, to enjoy the body that God created from the rooter to the tutor, for you to have a good time, for you to kiss, lick, and suck all over.
The whole body. The whole
body. And once you start doing that, then you won't need the pornography. And then you now incorporate couples around the world, invite Frank and Valerie and me to sit down with you all, and we have sessions, and then boom, you go to your hotel room and have a good time. We'll come back the next day. What did you learn? What can you improve? What do you want to do? Is it safe to do this? Yes, it can be. Yes, you can incorporate the BDSM and have a safe word just for the fun part of it. Like cold blue, I've had enough.
Yeah. Go ahead, babe. You want to answer the next one?
Oh, okay. Didn't I just do that?
You've done it. You're covering it up.
I'm sorry. I'm dozing a little bit, I guess.
You ain't dozing.
Actually, I was trying to look at the time.
But see, you're enjoying it. So you don't even know what time it is.
Actually, it looks like it's 1:45, but I am. Okay. Anyway, sometimes couples can't engage in sexual intercourse due to health or other physical limitations. How do you advise them in terms of still being able to enjoy sexual intimacy in light of those limitations?
Well, I think we talked about that earlier, but again, that's when you incorporate the different ways of touching. I always use the bathing and showers. Because of Mike's health, we had to change some things, and I got so tickled. Let me say this. In the book, I wrote a chapter about love making with disabilities before Mike got sick. So then when he got sick and passed on, during his sickness, he was like, you wrote that chapter. Now you need to go back and rewrite the chapter. But what we incorporated, the handicap rooms that are in hotels. Look, I love researching for y'all. I love researching. But the handicap rooms are wider, and then they had the stand-up shower, and then they have showers everywhere. Honey, do you know what kind of play you can do in those rooms with that?
You got a ball.
You in the playing and water going everywhere, but it's a handicap bathroom. So you the fun you have. And you actually for a moment forget that someone is sick, you know, and but you incorporate it, but you make it fun. Don't make it a chore. Don't make it like it's something you have to do, but don't stop loving each other physically because of medical challenges. You can work around it. There's something you can do. There's an answer for every question. You know, if you have the colonoscopy bag, you still can rub their feet. You know, you can still do a foot rub, a back rub. You can still, child, let me tell you what you can do, honey. You can get behind your man. Please have on a sexy, deep plunging bra and a nice little outfit, but you can get behind your man and shampoo his beard, honey. And that way his head is resting in your cleavage and you're just shampooing his beard, and then you dry it and you put oil in it and you're just touching his face. And when I tell you that man's like, can I get my beard shampooed this week? He'll be requesting.
Wow.
Oh, but again, you just create different ways to love on each other during that time of sickness. But people remember, it says sickness and in health, because there's a chance that they might be sick and they still, your partner is still your partner.
Right. Wow. That's great. You got to be creative and work within whatever situation you and your partner are in, whatever it is, and don't feel as if you can't enjoy each other physically because of whatever else may be going on health-wise or physical-wise or something like that.
Isn't there a mental aspect of that for the person who has the handicap or sick? Won't the challenge be that they have that person has to overcome to kind of enjoy the sexual intimacy?
They have to work through it. Now, if they're in the depths of the sickness and don't feel well, you can still stroke them and whatnot. But when and sometimes when you're in it, it's not that bad. Mike was I'm just gonna be honest. Mike was hooked up to a trach. He had a trach and he was reaching for me and he was like, come on. I'm like, number one, you are in ICU. ICU, Mike. This is glass. And he was like, just come on, just jump on real quick. And I'm like, you really want to have sex? He was like, yes. And I was cracking up, you know, but just the fact that he was feeling better, even wanting to.
Yeah.
And but again, we had to be creative. And I will share this with you. And I didn't think I would ever say this out loud. Michael had some particular medicine bag that was running directly to his heart. Excuse me. And we were sitting in the kitchen and this timer went off. And I had never heard the timer before or just hadn't paid attention to it. And then he said, I need to change the medicine in about an hour. It's just a reminder. And I said, he said, what did you think? I said, I thought it was over. I thought it was like the timer. I said, and if this was it, what would you want to do? He said, go upstairs and make love to my wife. I said, you want to die making love to me? He said, yeah. And I said, no, because your brother would swear out I killed you. But but that was such a beautiful compliment that he wanted to still be intimate. And your partner loves you just that much. So while they can't be physically intimate, Frank, they still want to love on you and be there with you. So long as you are connecting, long as you are touching. And it's so important.
Wow, that's a beautiful story. I like that.
It's the first time I've said that out loud, but yes, I think I would share that more often now.
Yeah, I love that. I want you to talk about sex toys and how they can enhance the sexual intimacy between a couple, and how couples may handle it if one partner doesn't like sex toys so much, particularly if especially if a woman has a dildo and her partner may be
uncomfortable,
intimidated, right, by the dildo. Yeah.
So what I do, I suggest couples go on dates when they go shopping for toys. Make it a date, and then when you are going together, then you pick out something that you're going to use together, because we never want our partner intimidated. We want everybody comfortable in the room. I really encourage the rose, because it's a beautiful rose and it looks like a rose. It has 10 different speeds on it, but it's not just for her clitoris, but it's for the tip of his penis. It's for her nipples. It's for his nipples. You can incorporate the rose all over it, because it's a beautiful rose. It's not the shape of a phallus or another penis in the room. It takes out the uncomfortable feeling that sometimes our men feel. But again, make it a date, because like beyond the breach, we don't want to breach the romance, because we don't want to feel it's a competition between a dildo and my penis. It's not, it's a compliment. It is an extension thereof, especially as we are getting older and we can't hold long erections. We can use the dildos, but until you feel comfortable with the dildos, use the rose.
The rose. I like that. Okay. And I believe you had spoken earlier about masturbation briefly. I think you talked about it briefly, and you encourage masturbation for couples to masturbate, or either. How about how am I want to answer this question? Just encouraging mutual masturbation or singular when you're by yourself to explore and learn your own body.
You have to, and I think it's amazing how growing up, men are taught as boys how to masturbate. Going in, knock one out. They tell them that all the time. They never tell the girls that. They never talk to the girl. So when she gets in there and they say she just lays there like a fish, like a dead fish, and I was like, because she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't even know what she likes. Women don't even know that you can have a nipple orgasm. You have a what? I can get turned on by, yes, you can have a nipple orgasm. If you kiss and lick the teeth and mouth right, you can have an orgasm from the stimulation of your mouth with your partner. So yes, I encourage you to masturbate. I encourage you. And for those who are deep in the Bible, I know I am paper Bible saved. I love Jesus. From Genesis to Revelation, I love Jesus. I've studied it. It does not say do not masturbate in the Bible.
Right.
You have to explore what you like, so that you can tell your partner what you want, what you desire. And you can also tell your partner what makes you uncomfortable. And then you need to learn how to do that. And a lot of it is because we're not properly lewd. And for women, our minds are steadily going on and on and on. And we forget to switch the button to femininity so that we can say, and then just walk in it. Just walk in that power, walk in that empowerment, because all this is about to take you inside of me, and I can handle every bit of it. But you have to know what you want. So even when you bathe or when you shower, if you're for the bathtub, get one of the hand shower things that come off. And you can use that all over. And yes, go past your clitoris with the hand shower. It is
especially if it has different
pulsating.
Pulsating features. Yes, and I've had one lady, like, I was walking in the pool and the water hit me just so I fell out laughing. She's like, I've never had that sensation. But that's because you limit yourself. And again, the church makes us feel so bad about it. But how you don't ever feel bad about it again. God created it, and He created it to be good, frequent, and often, and for you to completely enjoy.
Yes, absolutely. One of the things that I really love about you, Dr. Levon, is how secure you are, and like I said earlier, the way that you present. And that actually is something that I have struggled with throughout our marriage, because I'm on the heavier side, right? And I'm heavier now than I was when Frank and I first met and first married. And sometimes I get in my own head because I say, oh my God. And Frank can testify to that, because sometimes I don't want him to touch my stomach because he's going to feel my rolls and he's going to feel this. And, I'm bigger than I was, and he can't necessarily, I'm too heavy for him to lift. And, I want him to pick me up and turn me upside down and all that again. But can't necessarily do that.
Not that she's too heavy. My back isn't as strong as it used to be. So it's a mutual thing.
Well, wait. That's when we modify. Like they're different chairs. Child, you probably got furniture around that house that you can climb over and angle them hips to us right. And Frank, go on, kiss them stretch marks. Yes, so kiss them love.
I don't have a problem with that.
See, they love you. They love you.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes I get in my own head about it.
You can't. You can't. You got to look in your mirror and say, God made me. And he made every stretch mark, every fold, every row. He knows every hair on your head, so he knows the stretch marks. He knows the folds. He knows the rolls. And it's okay. It's beautiful. We need to stop criticizing ourselves and start embracing the beauty that we are. And my highest weight, and I'm married twice, was 511 pounds. And I walked in on stilettos at that weight with no problem, But you just have to know who you are. And once you know the woman who you embodied, and when you walk into a room, Valerie, that I am Frank's woman, I am the essence of Frank, and we are one, and can't nobody touch it.
I love that. I'm gonna excuse my cookie man because I did promise him 1 hour, and we're almost done. But I want to honor my word to my cookie man. So I'll catch up with you in a few, babe.
Okay.
All right.
Great seeing you, Frank.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
All right, so what, if anything else, advice, encouragement, or that you want to share with the listening audience, whether it's a heterosexual couple or if it's a same-sex couple and they're engaging in sexual intimacy, what you want to share with them?
For couples, I'll just speak in general to couples, period. And I will tell you, I do have a large following of same-sex couples, and did not know that until one of the shows we had went off the air. And it was amazing because I speak to couples. I don't care who you are. I just speak to couples because I love love. And I'm just here to say, don't forget to love yourself first. And then love your partner. Do not take anything for granted because tomorrow is not promised. I sit here still journeying through the steps of being a widow, but I have wonderful memories of my Michael. And one thing he said before he passed away, because I paused the ministry when he got sick before, was don't stop the ministry, keep it going. And that's because both of us knew that couples needed to know how to love each other, how to love on each other, how to love with each other. And tell you the whole truth, nothing but the truth. And if there is a third show, I will be back and still telling you. Hopefully by then I would have started a new community for women, as well as maybe, I think the goal for the book will be in February. I was shooting for Christmas, but I wanted to redesign it. And but I want you to know that you can do the cowgirl, reverse cowgirl, and then
yes.
I got some good things coming for you. Some good things coming for you.
All right. So, do you happen to have nearby the books that have already been published that you could share with the viewers and listening audience?
Yes. I will be traveling to Bethany Beach this month and Arizona this month.
Wow. Nice.
Arizona is Central Empowering Women in Arizona. I'll share the link on my page. And then Goddess Women Getaway in Bethany Beach. So this is my very first book. This is Sex Between the Sheets, What God Allows. And this is where I was saying I wrote the chapter about sex and disabilities before I even knew that Michael was going to be sick. But the Lord led me to write that chapter because I had coached other couples who had challenges and issues in the bedroom. And I'm talking about disabilities because they had a prosthesis or just everything, that needed to be worked through. And not to feel ashamed, and then to make light of what they would call my stub or my nub, and it's part of it, and because he'll kiss and lick and suck. But yes, the sex between the sheets. And I always say, remember, God created sex. He created it to be exciting, intense, frequent, and a part of every marriage.
Yes. So sex between the sheets. Okay. And you can find any books that you have written, you can find on Amazon or
definitely my website.
Okay.
And this one right here
I have that one.
Marriage Bed Revival. So it's 21 consecutive days of intimacy, no penetration required. And that was to bring people back to touching. So both of these, again, are on my website. And let me know. I keep my passport in my purse. It is current. It is current. And you can call me while I'm in Phoenix if you need me to come to London or Paris.
You'll be there.
Just let me know.
And your website, you are at The Erogenous Coach is your website. Is it
www.theerogenous.com? And we can put it up in the link after.
I'm putting it right now. Erogenous.coach.com. Okay. Let me know if I spelled it right. Erogenous.coach.com.
EROGENOUS.
EROGENOUS. Hold on, I'm gonna put it up there so you can see it. Erogenous.coach.com. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Vanessa, that's the website right there. www. Is it Erogenous Coach or The Erogenous Coach?
I think I bought both to be on the safe side.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, to be on the safe side. So you can follow me there. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok.
Okay. Also, you're on Facebook as The Erogenous Coach.
Yes.
And you're on Instagram as The Erogenous Coach.
Yes. So and TikTok.
And TikTok. So you can find Dr. Levon on all those platforms. You can get her book, Sex Between the Sheets and Marriage Bed Revival. And you have a third one that was just recently published.
Not published. We're working on it. We're doing the final part of it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
and that's going to entitle Honey, Can We Try This?
Honey, can we try this? I like that. So, Dr. Levon, thank you so much. And when, what you said, you have something for women?
I have a community coming out coming out as soon as we get everything finalized, and I'll do the release. So I'm looking forward to that, and I've been sitting on it for a few years, but I'm ready to let it go. And it's just for women empowering. And so we'll learn from here, and we'll promote your information and have people come to support you. And then I have a friend who does t-shirts, and she'll at least do the model t-shirts for you so you can see what you want. And so it'll be just different things where we can support each other, but also build our business and also heal our minds and our body.
Absolutely. And have some great mind-blowing sex in the process. So, Dr. Levon, I want to thank you, and those of you who are watching, thank you so much, whether you're watching now or you're going to watch later. And I'm going to say this because I always forget to say subscribe, share, like, make sure you share.
And follow.
Share, and follow. Marriage Beyond the Breach, as well as The Erogenous Coach. As soon as this is over, go to her website, go to her Facebook, go to her Instagram, and share. And do you have on your website products and stuff they can order on your website? Yes?
Yes, the Valentine's 365 store is on there, as well as the books. And within the next 2 weeks, if not this week, the t-shirts will be on there. I started a campaign called Team Orgasm. So those are the t-shirts. And I think
I saw you wearing one of those t-shirts on Facebook. You were wearing a t-shirt that said something about orgasm. I saw that. That's cute. I like that.
Yeah. And
all
then
right.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So
go ahead.
Good. No, I was going to say we got a podcast coming. I've been working on a kick of a podcast. I keep changing the name, but I know most of it is around sex. It's a conversation. So that's a conversation that we'll be having. And I'm sure that I'll be inviting you to be a guest.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it. So thank you so much again. Thank you for whoever's listening. My sister Jackie said it was truly a pleasure. So make sure, again, guys, look for Dr. LaVon Shaw, the erogenous coach. And Dr. LaVon will be in touch soon because I'm sure we're going to have a part 3.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. I love you.
I love you too.
Good night.
Good night.